What's up, Sycamore artists, future designers, future world leaders? Welcome back to another art lesson. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys are primed, have your minds ready to receive this information I'm about to pass on to you. Today, we're going to continue with some typography and hand lettering so that we can be thematic in our lessons. You guys will retain this information because repetition is the key to learning. And if you go back, every lesson that we've done is applicable so far. So what we're going to need today is a couple sheets of paper, straight edge if you want, a circle template if you want. We don't really need a pencil, but we definitely will need something to write with or draw with. So grab a pencil if you want, a pen. If you have colors, you can get those, like colored pencils, markers, paint pens, gel pens, crayons, anything. So grab those materials, get your mind ready, do whatever you need to do, run around the backyard and jump up and down, do a backflip, triple Indy, whatever. Go ahead and grab those things and I'll see you back here in a minute. Pause. All right, so we got what we need today. We have our imagination and our minds open. We have our materials that we need. You might want to write this down. If you don't want to, that's fine. You can memorize it. And if you don't want to memorize it, you don't have to. None of this is mandatory, and that's what's cool. We're going to talk today about personification and onomatopoeia. In this instance, though, we're going to be talking about visual onomatopoeia. And for a refresher, in case you guys don't know, personification means giving human qualities or attributes to an inanimate object or something that is non-human. So basically, in the word personification, that means we're bringing something to life. That's all it means. And next, we're going to talk about onomatopoeia, and that means words. I'll start from there. Onomatopoeia are words that come from the sounds that they make. For instance, zap, hiss, or crackle, or hoot. Those are all examples of onomatopoeia. What we're going to do is take words, any words, and create what's called visual onomatopoeia. So we're going to take any word, think about what it means, what it represents, all of the auditory or taste senses or visual senses, anything that is associated with that word, and we'll incorporate that into our typography. So yeah, we're going to bring these words to life using personification as well as color, and we are going to be incorporating what's called visual onomatopoeia. So let me give you a couple examples if I can. I'm going to share a couple photos. Here we go. Here's a couple good examples of onomatopoeia as well as visual onomatopoeia, excuse me. And one last example of why type matters, why typography matters, why I'm kind of focusing on this. I'm focusing on type first and foremost because it's a visual representation of everything around us. It's how we communicate. Letters and words are the foundation of our communication. Also, it gives you guys a really good foundation basis to graphic design and things like that. So going on with that, you can see this is a really good example of visual onomatopoeia. That's a mouthful. It's a fun word to say. Say it over again 5 times. Onomatopoeia, onomatopoeia, onomatopoeia. And after a while, you're like, okay. So moving forward, that's another good example. All of these are going to be great examples visually. This is an actual example of visual onomatopoeia as well as onomatopoeia in a literal sense. So they've taken the word zap and then illustrated it, brought it to life, giving it meaning of what it actually is. Using color, using the jagged edges. It's a really, really good example of onomatopoeia and visual onomatopoeia, as well as some personification in there. This is a great example right here. They've taken the V and made that a wedge. So obviously this word divide has much more meaning now. This is a good and funny, clever example. So you can see inflation, how they've made the words kind of ballooned in the middle. It's a very good example. I'm not sure you can see the hidden D in the back. A very, very good example. This is a good example as well. This is kind of called like a, the artist describes this as a meta word, but is a good representation of a word coming to life using color, the pink, as well as personification. This word flamingo has really, really excellent qualities that we're going to be practicing today. Another example, another very, very good example. And let's see if this is an excellent example. Very, very, very well thought out. This is a very, very simple example, but executed perfectly of visual onomatopoeia. And I wanted to show you guys an example of why type matters. This is the last one, and there it is. Type matters because when you choose the right fonts, or if you can write the same thing in two different ways, and the way you write that word and that phrase will give it a completely different meaning. Here's a good example. I found this on online, and this is a great example of why type matters. This one that's whimsical, as you can see, with the hearts and very rounded. It's a very promising example of something positive. You know, like, I'll always find you. Like, it's a very, very positive note. If you notice this one on the right, it's looks like it's almost etched in. It looks uneasy. It looks a little bit ominous. I would much rather receive this note than this one right here, the one on the right, this scary one. So this is a very good example of why typography and type matters, why I'm giving you guys this foundation very early on, like I said. Once you explore margin, color, shape, line form, line weight, you can apply all of those elements into your other artwork that you do, as well as having a really, really firm understanding of the visual world around us, as well as a really good foundation for graphic design. So moving forward, we today are going to be doing some personification of words. I'm going to give you guys some examples, and we're going to be doing some visual onomatopoeia. So excuse me one moment. I'm going to get a drink of water. All right, excuse me, I had to get a drink of water. I was very thirsty. So yes, we're gonna go over some examples of visual onomatopoeia and personification in our type and lettering, and why those things matter and how they can be applied every day, how we can have fun with it, as well as expand our visual horizons and develop really fundamental skills in terms of line weight, controlling our lines, pen pressure, things like that. So you guys might think these things don't apply and you might be getting bored with them, but I guarantee you it all matters. So first off, we're talking about visual onomatopoeia. So I did one of my own using some household materials. I found a piece of packing paper that was in a box, and I decided to use wood drips. So I found an old paint pen. I'm sure everybody's house has one of these laying around the house somewhere, just some old tin or canister with a bunch of pens and markers stuffed in there probably. if you go through there, you can probably find some really, really awesome things to draw with. I found this old white paint marker thing. I wasn't expecting to find that, and it worked. So I was really happy with that. So I decided to do the word drip. As you can see, I just started inking it first. I first started drawing the white part, and then I went and outlined it with the black part and tried to make it look as drippy as I possibly could. Another example that I did using some of the elements that I showed you guys earlier in terms of lines and top line and cap line and things like that was the word fast. I brought this to life by giving it some angle, making it go this way to the right, and I gave it some movement by drawing these lines, and it looks like it's leaving the paper, so it kind of looks like it's zooming by. And then one quick element that's super easy was I gave it the checkered flag. So without that, it would be okay, but a few visual elements can make this look, really, really take any word and make it a successful transition into visual onomatopoeia. Another example that I did quickly was I found some old Crayola markers, and I was like, you know what, I like watermelon. I had a piece of watermelon this morning for breakfast, and it was delicious. So I just drew that. I did it freehand, and I tried to bring it to life, thinking about color, texture, the shape, even the way it kind of like smells and feels. And so right now, looking at this, I can taste watermelon. I feel it, and there's black seeds in it sometimes. If you don't get a seedless watermelon, depends. I think watermelon with seeds is a little bit sweeter, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about typography. I think this is a very good example, very quick example that I did of visual onomatopoeia. I always want to say onomatopoeia, but it's not. It's onomato, O-N-O-M-A-T. Yeah. And this is red. I like it. And it was super simple. I didn't follow any of the rules. It was all freehand. That's part of the fun. You can have fun with whatever you want to do. Another example that I want to show you guys in my messy pile of examples is the word squiggly. I just drew that as squiggly as I could, and I'm sure I could make it, is it squigglier or more squiggly? Or the most squiggliest of all the squigglies? I'm not sure. However, I'm sure I could have embellished the squiggles. You know what I mean? A circle. I took my circle template, my super high-tech circle template, some masking tape, and I outlined the middle with a pencil, and then I took a black marker and I wrote the word circle within that template. Very, very simple ideation. If you guys wanted to do something like onomatopoeia and then actually give that visual onomatopoeia as well as personification, here's an example. The word hoot, right? It's an owl. Here's his little tiny wings and, the beak. But that's a quick example. If you wanted to do something like that, you can really, really take type and incorporate other valuable artistic elements in your typography. As far as, where's my last example in my sea of examples? Here it is. The last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was personification. Personification, you can have a lot of fun because aside from typography, you can incorporate personification into any other type of art. But for now, we're going to focus on type. So this is a quick example I did of peanut butter and jelly, right? It's peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter, and there's jelly. And I used just a quick brown colored pencil, and I outlined it in a brown marker, and did the same with a red colored pencil and red marker. I could have brought these to life more so right now this is a good example of personification. not too much visual onomatopoeia. I could have incorporated that more by making the peanut butter look more like peanut butter, or made it look like peanuts, or same with the jelly. I could have made it, you know, dripping or drawn like fruit bits around it or something like that. But this is a really good example and a fun example of personification. I'm really bringing it to life. So, you know, otherwise it's just peanut butter and jelly, which is cool. But if I'm making him, you know, fist bump and he's like, dude, and the other guy's like, bro, and then all of a sudden it's dude, bro, then, you know, it's a fun example. Excuse me, I'm having some technical difficulties with the screen. Yeah, so you can really take any word and bring it to life. Like I said, I could have incorporated more elements of visual onomatopoeia into this. I could have drawn more drips or something like that, or made this look like an actual peanut butter label or an actual jelly label. Or if I made this like a jar of peanut butter, would be a really good representation. Like I said, quick example, I had fun doing this one. I made myself laugh. You can pick anything. So what I want you guys to do is pick any word. Pick a word, any word, go ahead. We got so many words to choose from. Pick a word, pick 500 words, pick 10 words if you want, right? Have fun with this, have a lot of fun with this. I want you guys to pick a word and bring that word to life using elements of personification, using elements of color, right? Because color matters. If I made that black and white, or if I made it purple and yellow, but try to make it say watermelon, it wouldn't work. It'd be kind of weird, right? If it said watermelon was purple and yellow. You know, so pick a word, bring that word to life using the word's definitive nature. Think about what that word means. Think about how it might sound or smell or feel or taste, or all those things combined. Try and put that together into your typography. So with this lesson, this week's lesson, onomatopoeia, go right there. I'm going to try and make it go across the screen. Onomatopoeia and personification. Hopefully it goes across the screen right there. With some editing, I'll be able to. Focus on that and really, 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 really try and incorporate those into your type. Pick a word, bring that word to life, have fun with it, stay creative, and I will see you guys next week with more likely than not some typography and some hand lettering, because there's so many elements of that artistic avenue alone. Excuse me, that study. There's so many elements involved with typography alone. I could offer a whole course, but since repetition is key, we're going to probably continue with that. If you don't want to, if you're bored of it, email me. So far, nobody's really emailed me. Tell your parents to help you email, or email me, artwithluis@gmail.com. If there's anything specific you would like to learn or talk about, or any topic you want me to address in these videos, I will. I'd be glad to. If you guys do want to learn some anatomical, like face drawings or portrait drawings, we can do that as well. There are very simple techniques to incorporate to achieve the same results every time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay busy, stay creative. Onomatopoeia and personification. Get to it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good week.